Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, and his deputy, the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the matriarch of Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande's family, Alhaji Jakande. It is my pleasure to be here this evening to talk about Lateef Kayode Jakande Help Foundation. But can you permit me to preface my talk with a reference to two distinguished citizens of Lagos State. The first one is Mobalaji Bankantoni. In one of his last interviews, he was asked the question, "What would you like to be remembered for?" And he said, "Why should anybody remember me? For what? What have I done to humanity?" The indefatigable journalist, Alhaji Odunewu, he compiled all his writings in the daily times of the time, and he put them together and titled it "Winners Take All." In that contribution, he talked about imperishability and perishability of ideas. And that takes me to Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, for deeming it fit to honor late Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande. I'm sure when it comes to the time when you are to be remembered as well, this will be in multiple forms. Because you are not someone who had a complex. People of complex will think that if I did remember this man, who's going to remember me? Therefore, he will end up celebrating himself. For thinking it fit to honor late Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande, your deputy was with the family this afternoon. It's like a whole day. For who? For Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande. I think this is very commendable of your administration. Let me also talk about Lord Lugard. In about 1924, 23, 25, thereabout, Lord Lugard complained to the British Parliament that he had no people to work with in the colonies. They asked him why. The British Parliament asked him the question, why? He said because there were no leaders to work with. There were no people who had been trained. Because the British Parliament believed so much in their public schools. You know what their reply was? They said, those people that we send to you are products of the British public schools. And they have been trained in leadership skills, not formal training. The fact that they have been monitors in school, they have been private, they already had sufficient tools to provide leadership in the continent of Africa. I would like to say that this leadership academy, which is a conscious effort of the Lagos, I'm not sure if there have been something like this before. It seems to be the first. I'm not sure if there have been similar things in any state of the Federation, but it's a very good innovation. But I think there's a need to synergize, to connect it to public secondary schools in Lagos State, so that can become a grooming ground for training leaders of tomorrow. This is a very welcome development, and it is commendable that we are not thinking of today, we are thinking of tomorrow as well. The sustainability of this project is very, very important to building a country. And I'm sure in no distant future, State of the Federation will be sending people to Lagos State because Lagos has a trigger effect in every field of human endeavor and public administration. The late governor of Kano State, Bakinzuo, he was asked the question towards the end. He served at the same time with Alhaji Jakande. And he said, Lateef is the best of all. Alhaji Jakande is the best of all. There was never a governor like Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande. And it will take time to have a governor like him. Like I see some making of the future governors like him. The current effort by the current administration is trying to build on the legacies that Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande left behind. Why am I saying this? The metro line, which Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande started in 1983. In one of my interviews with him, if he said there is anything that he is regretting, it is because he didn't start the metro line on his first day in office. If he had known that it would take time, that somebody will come to cancel it, he would have started it on the first day of his administration. We thank God that today, the governor and his team, they are breathing life into that rail project, and I wish you well. Now to Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande Help Foundation. I'm sure we are conversant. It's a global practice. You have a legacy, you have a dream, you have a philosophy, you want to grow it, you want it to be in perpetuity. What do? You create a foundation. But Alhaji Jakande, what is unique about this foundation was that it was not a creation of the family, of the children. Alhaji himself put this in place before he breathed his last. And why did he do so? He didn't want to leave it to chance, and he wanted to be sure that having lived a life of service in Lagos State, he would want that service to continue even after his death. So the challenge is for us now, those of us who are alive. How do you help Alhaji Jakande in death to sustain what he had created? They have planted a tree. It's just asking us to do what? To water it. It's not asking you to do anything new. He had put it in place himself. And I'm sure Alhaji Jakande had several disciples that should be able to water this tree that he planted. What could be said to be the focus of Alhaji Lateef Kayode Jakande Help Foundation? 4 or 5 critical areas. The first one is health, education, housing, sporting, and youth development. And on top of it all, what? Public empowerment. Your Excellency and the Deputy Governor, it is good that you set up this School of Academy in honor of Alhaji Jakande. But I think we need to mainstream the Lateef Jakande Help Foundation into the Leadership Academy so that they can sustain each other and they can endure for a very long time to come. The last point I would like to make is directed at all of us who are here present. Let us learn to do well with ourselves. But more importantly, let us learn to do some good for society. We are here not because Alhaji Jakande had done well for himself. We're here because he had done some good for society. Doing good for society is a legacy that endures forever. Your Excellency, I thank you sincerely for this opportunity. Thank you very much.